What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian Weather Forecast. This is a very extremely late forecast. I usually don't do videos this late, but my birthday party just finished, and I thought I might as well just do another upload since I've only done one video here, and the tropics are continuing to be very active. We now have Invest 92L updated to a 80% chance for the next 5 days and a 50% chance for the next 48 hours. This could very well become maybe a Hurricane Isaias or Isaiah, and this can very well become a huge threat for not only the Caribbean, but maybe for the U.S., as we can very well maybe see a southeastern landfall as Florida or maybe even North Carolina. We're going to be seeing a big threat for Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, as those states could very well see a landfall. We have a very huge cone on this. North Carolina, as of now, is the threat, but earlier today it was Georgia. So really, we're getting to state to state, but we're going to be seeing major possibilities. The confidence is very high of this becoming a Isaias before August the 1st. Before August to ever be recorded. Even 2005 was not compared to this, and this could become maybe a major hurricane. I know it's very far out, but the confidence is really absolutely skyrocketing here. The Euro model shows a southeastern landfall. Euro's been very accurate, and it's accurate in general. GFS does. CMC and Icon yet don't really show a southeastern landfall, but we're going to be continuing to monitor this very closely. We're going to be looking at the cone, the timing of the storm, maybe around the general area where it can make landfall, most likely, and what models show now, and all of that. Before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, and also all of that. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So here's a national weather source. As you see here, we have Hurricane Hannah has now made landfall over Texas a couple hours ago. It is now weakened to 75 miles an hour. We still have a central pressure of 979, minimal central pressure at 979 millibars. That's pretty good, and it's now moving 9 miles an hour. So it made landfall, I believe, in the Padre Island in Texas, right there. But here we got 92L right here at a 50% chance for the next 5 days. The confidence in this is absolutely crazy. Look how fast this storm is moving, or this invest. Look where it is now. It was literally right here, like yesterday. It was right here. This thing's a pretty fast moving storm. It's going to be going into really warm waters, and this is going to be kind of like a Gonzalo-like storm, except this is going to be higher confidence, as it may or may not possibly go like this. And that's kind of what we're expecting with this storm, really. Some models still going like this, or some models at the CMC go like this. That's what the CMC is showing. GFS is also showing possibly this, making landfall in North Carolina. A European model shows this as of now, heading towards South Carolina. But the model tracks go as Miami or as right here. So really, we have a huge cone of uncertainty. But Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even maybe even Virginia, you guys definitely want to be on the lookout. And an 80% chance for the next 5 days. So this definitely will be Isaias before. This will definitely be Isaias before August. Let's go and check out satellite imagery here of this storm on the tropical Atlantic. Look at it right there. This thing's getting a lot more organized as we speak, which is why confidence is really skyrocketing. The convection is also strengthening as well in the center circulation of these thunderstorms. So this could very well maybe become very interesting. Maybe a tropical depression by tomorrow, as this storm is really have high confidence. All the models do show this becoming a named storm, every single one, and as far as category 2. So this thing's very interesting. Also, another storm off the coast of Africa is very interesting, but really this is possibly going to be going like this most likely. That's the huge threat. Puerto Rico, you guys are in threat. The U.S. Virgin Islands, you guys are in threat. The Lesser Antilles, you guys are in threat. Dominican Republic, you guys are in threat. The Bahamas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, you guys are all in a threat. So really, we have a huge possibility with this storm. This is basically the cone. I guess you could say that this is maybe the cone, possibly, really. So this is basically where this storm can go. It's absolutely a big threat. I do not, since the beginning, I've said this storm probably won't go in the Gulf since the beginning, and it seems it's more favorable that this won't go in the Gulf here. As you see here is this invest right there. It did go through a teeny little drier, but it now has developed a huge moisture bubble. And just look at Hannah right there, a very, very big and strong hurricane. I believe it did not reach category 2 force winds, which still surprises me that. There. Let's go check out the SST to see exactly how favorable these waters are. It's actually a little bit this way there. So as you see, this is around, I believe, right here. It's now over 28, around 27.5 degrees Celsius. So that's some pretty warm waters. For a hurricane to develop, it has to be over 26 degrees Celsius. So it is favorable at this point. But it's going to be hitting some very warm waters, especially right here over North Carolina, the southeastern coast. We have 30 to 30, up to 31 degrees Celsius for water. So if it does head there, that would be very really intense. So as you see, this is probably where we're going to possibly maybe see this landfall, anywhere from this general area. So Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. You guys don't mean threat. And when I mean Florida, I mean the whole eastern coast for Florida, from Miami all the way up to Jacksonville, as well as the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti. Really big threat here. This is possibly the cone. Maybe this could very well be a very, very large cone, honestly. Let me actually just do this. Let me just say it's going to be like a very big cone, honestly, because it can very well go into Georgia, and it's going to be possibly fitting Puerto Rico. It's a very large cone. It may like go like just like this either way. So this is going to be a very big area of uncertainty. It may or may not hit the Bahamas. And honestly, this models are seen as becoming a major hurricane up to 959 millibars. And this is absolutely crazy. But we do have very favorable conditions, especially if it does go north of Puerto Rico. If it doesn't hit Puerto Rico, and then it does go straight to North Carolina, the GFS, it'll be a very big hurricane because it's not going to be affecting Puerto Rico. That means it's not going to be going through mountainous areas. If it doesn't hit the Bahamas, it's going to avoid land. It's going to go straight. If it goes straight to North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, or even Florida, with avoiding Puerto Rico and Bahamas over 29 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius, this could very well become a major hurricane. But if it hits Puerto Rico and it hits Bahamas and then goes up in the southeastern coast, maybe a weaker hurricane, but maybe just reaching Category 3. But really, very favorable conditions, really on the SSC. Let's go now and show you guys the moisture here, the relative humidity, as this thing has very favorable conditions as of now, and continue to see whether dry air will keep this storm from forming, or whether we're just going to have dry air once it becomes a named storm. That's what we're going to be looking at here. So let me actually see the date here. Actually, this is the next 6 hours right now. So this is for tomorrow, very early in the morning. As you see, look at that huge moisture bubble. Like I said, this thing has a huge moisture bubble. This moisture bubble kind of looks like a hurricane at this point, actually. But as you see, it will be really pretty fine at this point. It won't have a huge threat. It actually developed. It actually had a moisture bubble a lot earlier than Gonzalo, which is why I don't think this will be a Gonzalo and a bust. As you see, the next 108 hours by July 30th, this thing will be at 975 millibars. So definitely a hurricane way before August. And as it does head into the Atlantic, and the Western Atlantic, going to be a huge threat. GFS does show it actually just missing the U.S. Virgin Islands, just missing Puerto Rico, which is why it's showing being a major hurricane. It's going to avoid many mountainous areas there. 975 as well, very warm waters, and it'll be taking the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream will be pushing it out there, possibly pushing it a lot more to the north, which will be exactly why it's going to be hitting the North Carolina area. So as you can see, at first it's going to go like straight right there, but the Gulf Stream just pushed it. And look at this, 960 millibars right over areas such as North Carolina. This is absolutely mental. This will be a major hurricane. Look at that, 958 millibars. Look at that massive storm. Look at that massive low pressure. I mean, look, I'm right here. This thing will actually bring in some strong winds for me. Maybe I can just drive right there and then see it, this big storm. This could be a major hurricane. Isaias, really. Just look at that, going straight over Wellington. 966 millibars, and this could go right over Raleigh and then go back out into the eastern Gulf and possibly head out throughout the Gulf Stream, taking it up the East Coast, maybe bringing some strong winds for portions of New Jersey and all in the New England area. Wind shear wise, there will be some areas where there will be times where wind shear could get in the way of the storm. Maybe that's exactly why it does weaken a little bit after it passes the Bahamas, because some wind shear. But honestly, if it's that strong, it really won't become a major issue. As far as July 31st, it really won't encounter much wind shear. But by the time it gets to really July or August 1st, it kind of starts to see a little wind shear on that other part of the storm right there, just to the west of that low pressure system right there. That could become maybe, honestly, I don't see that. I'm not saying it's going to weaken or anything. I just think it's in the little monitor and then makes landfall right there around 958 millibars for portions of the East Coast. And then a huge wind shear, the huge jet stream shows it now pushing it out into the Gulf. Now push it out to the Atlantic, and now it's where it can possibly weaken from there. Let's go now check out another disturbance or investing into track guidance here. The tracks here, as you see, this is as a track showing you basically the cone. This is basically the cone in my opinion. I do think if it does go north of Puerto Rico, I really see a huge issue with that. It could very well become a major hurricane easily if it avoids Puerto Rico, avoids the Bahamas. But the majority of the models do show it actually going straight over the U.S. Virgin Islands, straight over the Leeward Islands, and then possibly heading straight for Puerto Rico. This could be a hurricane before it gets to this point. So we can be seeing a hurricane obviously pretty soon. My real birthday is the 28th. So I may or may not have a hurricane for my birthday, which has not happened in a while. It has not happened in a long time since there's been a hurricane active when I was actually on my birthday. So this is actually pretty cool actually, because this could be a named storm as early as the next 48 hours really. So this thing is very close to being maybe even a hurricane by the next 72 hours. So this is going to be a hurricane when it does affect Puerto Rico, if it does. So it will be devastating for Puerto Rico, not because strength, but because what they've gone through in the past 3 years. Here's the tracks here, GEFS, and this is also tracking the central pressure. As you see, this tends to be not the most accurate when it comes to central pressure, but it's pretty accurate when it comes to tracks. So this will definitely be, this won't be 1,000 millibars. It showed 975, 980. This won't. Don't pay attention to the central pressure here. Just pay attention to the really the cone. So as you see, this is basically the cone. Like I said, it's gonna be a pretty large cone. Models show as a Miami, from Miami to all the way up into portions of right here. So it's a huge uncertainty. Miami, all the way from Miami to possibly the Kitty Hawk area. You guys want to be on the lookout for US wise. So this probably will be entering this area around August 5th, August 4th. So it's still a decent amount of time. But it's not like that far from being named. It's going to be named awfully soon. So it's not like it's super far. It's super far from maybe getting to that point. But this thing is actually very close to being a tropical storm at this point. This could be a tropical storm in the next 2 days. It's kind of a weird thing about that, really. Now let's go check out another true color here on this Invest right here. There it is. This Invest pretty. I wouldn't say it's the most organized. Let's go check out the long way IR. Just look at the convection here. Really starting to strengthen the center of these storms. The center of these disturbed thunderstorms. It's really seeing a lot of convection, that rotation. So vorticity is definitely strengthening. Water vapor as well is definitely increasing as well. So this is really taking advantage of this warmer waters over 26 degrees Celsius right there. Really taking advantage right there, and that's exactly where that convection is really strengthening, and that's exactly where we have that circular rotation. Here's intensity guidance here. Let's go check that out, the intensity guidance. As you see, like I said, every single model shows it becoming a hurricane. Look at this. As early as the next 30 hours to as late as the next 84 hours. Look, every single model shows it getting to a named storm just by a lot. Look, we already have models out of Category 2. Honestly, guys, Category 2, Category 3 seems reasonable. Maybe even a Category 4. I don't want to say that, but it's very favorable. This could become a very strong hurricane. Definitely stronger than Hannah. I don't see this becoming a bust because it does already have its moisture bubble before it even became a depression. Gonzalo took very long, and it at some point took it drier, got into it, and it just fell apart. So I don't see this being a Gonzalo. It's not going to be going to the south necessarily like Gonzalo did, which is why it went over land, and it did kind of fall apart. But Cat 1 already shows Cat 2, and then maybe even a Cat 3. So this is going to be very, very interesting play out. Here's a look at the MLSP and the precipitation rate and the GFS here. As you see, the next 6 hours right there, 1,010 millibars. It's going the next 30 hours as where it's the earliest possible tropical storm at 1,008. So this thing's going to slowly but surely strengthen, but once it blows up, it's going to blow up. Next 72 hours, this could very well become a potential hurricane at 996. So this could be a tropical storm, very strong tropical storm in the next 72 hours, so maybe a borderline hurricane. And then the next 96 hours by July 29th, Or actually, July 28th is my birthday, so that's right. Maybe it can be just getting to a hurricane. Really, as we get July 30th, that's when it's gonna blow up to 980 millibars, heading towards the Western Antilles. But like I said, the GFS is showing it avoiding Puerto Rico, avoiding any land. It's not the first land it'll touch is U.S. soil, which is why the GFS is showing it so strong. Because it avoids all the U.S. Virgin Islands, maybe an island or two, but 969 millibars over the areas of Puerto Rico, just skinning it. And then it does weaken a little bit because once you're in the little island, it does kind of weaken a tad. It kind of goes up a little bit to 977. And then it starts to strengthen a lot more as it gets into very warm waters in this jet stream. This Gulf shear is going to really pick it up to the coast, and that's going to drag it to North Carolina. 966 millibars up to August 3rd. 960 for North Carolina. And let's go and check this out right here, bro. 958 millibars right as it heads towards the North Carolina area. And boom, landfall at 966. That could be a Category 3, really. Definitely very interesting there, and then it's going to go up into the coast. Let's go back into the tropical Atlantic to check this out on the CMC model. So let's use the CMC. The CMC here shows the next 24 hours there, and as you see, CMC is going to definitely showing it not strengthening on as much. CMC is very well known for underestimating storms until they become named. That's how the CMC really works. CMC's really underestimated a lot of storms. Same happened with the crystal same happened with a lot of storms. As you see, then it starts to strengthen with that with the really warm waters at 982, and then it goes way up into the east coast there. Let's go and check out now the Icon as well. Icon, it's I want to say it's the best, but let's go and check out now the 18Z, the last update for the update on Icon. The new one's still refreshing, but I don't want to wait for that to really refresh. So let's go and just wait here the next 48 hours as we see for this. If this Icon can actually load, that would be awesome if it loads. Okay, there we go. Got a slight peak of this. All right, there we go. So there we go. And next 75 hours, 1,006 millibars there. So CMC's Icon starting to slow down on this, and then it just goes. It's kind of doing a GFS track, just not as strong. It's gonna avoid U.S. Virgin Islands, gonna avoid Western Antilles, and avoid Puerto Rico. And I'm guessing it's probably just gonna go either like this. It's probably gonna go like this, or it's gonna go like this, just like the GFS. So that's something they really watch about or watch. Let's go and check out now what the European is showing. Like I said, European is showing something very interesting. Euro is very accurate when it comes to tropics. So you always gotta show the Euro. If Euro shows it, doesn't mean it's gonna happen. It's just it seems like it just increases. Actually, Wi-Fi is going out. LOL. We'll check that out later, but let's go check out the winds, the 10-meter winds here on the GFS. As you see, next 48 hours, 1,005 millibars, and then it really starts to blow up here on the tropical Atlantic next 96 hours on July 28th. 982 millibars, possibly already bringing over 60 knots there, and that's going to bring in 971 at the port, possibly just going over the U.S. Virgin Islands right there. And this is where it gets really interesting, 973, and then there it goes, heads straight for the southeastern coast here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Southeastern coast has right there. Look at that monster storm there. A monster storm at 976 millibars. That is a very well-defined storm, and it goes straight towards the North Carolina area. This is almost as large as Georgia. Just look at that storm, 961, and boom, 958. It's gonna bring in very strong winds. I believe I don't even think it tells you here at all. It says, yeah, it doesn't even tell you here at this point. Like, it's absolutely crazy at this point. This is a mental storm. It's going to go destroy the North Carolina coast, this would absolutely devastate North Carolina near Wilmington, absolutely devastate the Outer Banks. This would be a monster storm. Then it heads back out into the Atlantic as that Gulf shear does take it out there, and that Gulf flow. Let's go now check out the as well the European. It's actually let's go and check out now the European models on this, but also check out maybe the CMC on this storm as well. So the next 36 hours there, CMC of course going straight to the north, gonna bring in around 50 knots. 50 miles an hour there. and then it starts to strengthen at that point, maybe getting to the hurricane force winds. But really, CMC is not really showing anything interesting as well. But that's that. Now I'll be showing the European and what European model actually does show. So next 96 hours, or sorry, 120 hours on July 30th does show European making land. The European shows Isaias from 92L soon to make landfall on the northern Lesser Antilles or Leeward Islands up into the air with the point of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then it shows it actually looks like it's gonna go in the Gulf actually at this point. That's what it looks like, but it's nope. It's gonna be taken up here by the high pressure in the Gulf. It's gonna block it up there, and the Bermuda High is going to kind of drag it up like that. It's going to pull it like a force, really. And it's going to go in between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. That's the only model that shows that. It's kind of like a Dorian track. And then this is what the European shows. It's going to look like it's going to go... Well, the thing with the European, though, is shows it's going to go right over all the Bahamas, which is a mountainous area at some points, which can destroy it. But then it absolutely just... This is the area where this storm can absolutely just become a monster storm. All this whole area, and then it's possibly either show it hitting Georgia or South Carolina, and maybe if this Gulf shear is strong enough, it'll push it all the way to the North Carolina area. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll keep many updates on Isaias 92L soon to become a tropical storm Isaias, and then maybe even hurricane. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.